Hey, it's Liz Kelly. I want to tell you about our great football coverage on the Ringer Podcast Network. Every Monday, Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal recap the weekend and guess next week's NFL lines on the BS podcast. On Wednesday mornings, Ryan Russillo hits the hardest angles in college and pro football on our new podcast, Dual Threat. And on Wednesday nights, Cousin Sal and the Degenerate Trifecta figure out the best gambling angles on Against All Odds. And 5 times per week, the Ringer NFL show reacts to the latest news with Kevin Clark, Robert Mays, Tate Frazier, Mike Lombardi, and the Danasy football crew. Subscribe to the BS podcast, Dual Threat, Against All Odds, and the Ringer NFL show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Bachelor Party. It's like an all-news edition. Yeah, Paradise ended. There were some breakups. There were some engagements. Cool. A lot of news has broken in the last 24 hours, and that's what I want to talk about because Paradise is old news. It was like 3 months ago. Colton's about to start filming his new Bachelor season, so it's just time to move on. And that means talking about Bekah being pregnant. Congratulations to her. That means talking about Jenna and Jordan's announcement of engagement, subsequently followed by Reality Steve spoiling it, kind of. More on that. And everything else about the new couples that we have. And to do that, I have 2 Bachelor super fans with me. I think they're comfortable with me calling them that. Alyssa Bereznak and Andrew Gruttadaro, both of The Ringer. Hi, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
First 3-person pod on this show in like quite some time. Ashley and Jared, that was like a 3-person pod, but they're like basically 1 now, so I don't even know if we can count it.
We're not there yet.
No, yeah, just coworkers.
No, please, just, as a part of the management team here at The Ringer, please keep it as coworkers. Thank you. Guys, where should we start? Should we start with Bekah? I think we should start with Bekah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
This morning, I got to the office really early. And I was glad that I did because the news came out that Bekah Martinez is pregnant.
Everyone, was wondering like, was I gonna do Bachelor in Paradise? And I had already said no. But it was still kind of crazy that I had this secret of like, oh no, not only do I have a boyfriend, I also now have a kid on the way.
I think at this point she's like 21 weeks, which means she's about halfway there. And it's a shock. The father is her boyfriend, Grayson, and she announced this on social media platforms. Andrew, why don't you explain the intricate way in which this news was delivered to the people?
So it came in the form of a YouTube video whose title is I'm Pregnant.
Very descriptive.
It is a 6.5 minute video that starts with credits.
I'm very happy it's 6.5 minutes versus the Ashley and Jared plan of 45 minutes. 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Felt long, to be honest, but watched all of it.
It did.
It felt long.
It did.
I also just want to say that while that's like kind of good SEO, I just searched I'm pregnant in YouTube.
It wasn't good enough.
So many videos. It's not even in the top 15 right now, although it is on the first page.
Yeah, she's got to hit up YouTube.
The video begins with credits.
And then it ends with coming soon more videos.
Yeah, so she kind of like launched her YouTube channel with this. Which, Alyssa, you're on our tech beat. What do you think of this strategy for launching a YouTube channel?
So I have to say the rollout was not great. I just mean to say that, like, I was intrigued because I first came across this from her Instagram, and it's the beginning of the video, like, right before she said that she was pregnant. So I was like, oh shit, I need to go to YouTube. And then I went to YouTube, and the title was I'm pregnant. So I didn't really need to watch. And then, like, there's a lot of other stuff that's problematic in all of this.
Yeah, so back to the credits.
Yeah.
They begin with, it's like a staticky screen, and then it's Bekah saying she's pregnant. And then after about 15-20 seconds, credits roll. And it's produced by a production company called Vego, V-E-G-O. And then it's directed by this guy, Ben Gans. And in his Chiron, it has a handle that says at Vego Ben. And then there's another guy who's produced by, the producer's named Ari Jacobs, and in his Chiron it says at influences. Guys, does at influences exist?
No.
It does not. Not on Twitter.
Not on Twitter, and it is definitely not the person who it is on Instagram.
I mean, it's a handle on Instagram, but it's a way different account than you would be expecting.
Yeah, super interesting. Go check that out.
Also, the website doesn't exist either.
Yeah, so basically, like, this is like almost like a premature rollout or just a botched rollout. I'm guessing botched. How do you not check that though? If you're Vigo Ben, I mean, you gotta be mad, right?
Yeah, or if you're Ari, like, no one's going to your page.
Yeah.
Ari is actually a woman, Ariadna Jacob.
Oh,
like,
interesting. Who
her
knew?
at is actually Influences Inc., so they left off the INC.
So no one's really getting a good social media bump from this because they messed up, is what we're saying. And then to get more info, it links to a story on the website purewow.com, which must be like a friend of Bekah because she's been on this website before, but I don't really know what it is. Are either of you familiar with purewow.com?
I am, yes.
You are? What is it?
It's shame.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not ashamed. I think it's like a celebrity gossip website. I've definitely been on the website before and I recognize the name.
Oh.
So yeah, it's not like a blind item website, but I think they kind of cater to reality TV.
I think that's right, because she also went on here to like explain why she wasn't going on Paradise. And this just puts like a lot of different...
Is it Players Tribune for celebrities?
For reality
That's
TV
a pretty good
people.
description of it, actually.
It is a good idea. I mean, maybe we should start that as like a subvertical of The Ringer. I mean, not a crazy idea. I love it. This has been like a pretty wild few months of Bekah. She outed Leo, or supposedly. She kind of started this case against Leo for saying he may be guilty of sexual harassment, which I am not saying he is, but she suggested that. And then she was just had a really big persona coming out of Ari's season. I mean, Ari's season feels like it ended like ages ago, but that was literally in March.
Wow.
I know. It was 6 months ago, and it feels like 6 lifetimes ago. I feel like we've been through so much with Bekah and the Bachelor Nation in general. It's actually kind of insane to put it in that perspective. Like, we first met her 9 months ago, which is the length of a pregnancy, coincidentally. And she was 22, and like that was like her big secret. And now she's about to be a mom. Like, it's like kind of... It's a pretty wild timeline. I can't get over it.
She was missing for a little while too. Like, my God.
That's not even
on a marijuana farm.
Yeah.
That's not even like a top 3 thing you say about Bekah.
No.
And that was so wild. I can't believe how much we've been through with her. It kind of boggles my mind. Alyssa, what did you think about the video itself? Like, what struck you about it?
I have some notes.
Okay.
First, I think that he doesn't seem very amped about the baby. And
No.
I'm getting that from both his body language and his lack of like description. Like, he doesn't really offer much in the video. And also at one point he says, quote, "If I have to, I'll do it."
That was really rough. I think I have the full quote. Stand by. He said, this is also like in like the last minute of the video. So you've made it deep if you heard him say this. He says, "If I have to, I will do it. I will be a good dad. I will stand up to the occasion." But like, it was like he was giving himself a pep talk and trying to convince himself, Bekah, and everyone watching. It was pretty sad.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too thrilled.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned this in Slack, Andrew, like, there's this moment in the kitchen, which was not that clean, like, the kitchen could have been cleaner, as a side note, where, like, they're standing in front of, like, a mason jar of pink roses, and he's, like, giving her a rose in slow motion and giving her a kiss, and then when he, like, turns away from her
his
face,
face
like, he goes
is
into
just
a frown.
sad.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
And then, like, separately, there's this other moment when they're trying to explain, like, how their relationship started. And she says something, like, along the lines that he didn't follow her on Instagram. And also that like things didn't become clear until Utah. And then that's never explained. And so I just really want to know what happened in Utah. And then he mentions that like they haven't even been dating for a year and they're going to have a kid together.
Yeah.
So it just felt very like full of dread, I think is what you said to me on Slack today. And also just bleak.
Yeah, I think that was how I felt about it. Like this is like maybe outside of a few episodes of Teen Mom, like maybe one of the more honest like pieces of media about being unexpectedly pregnant. Like they're obviously still wrapping their heads around it. There's a lot of discomfort, a lot of tentativeness, and like a lot of anxiety about it. And I was just actually really struck by how unvarnished it was. Like she wasn't at no point were either of them like kind of like feigning like to be overjoyed. And it's like, when's the last time we've seen like a quasi-celebrity announce a pregnancy that way? I can't think of one. Sorry to turn this into jam session, but I just can't think of that.
No, I can't
me
either.
neither. I mean, everyone is sort of just like fake happy for the sake of like baby announcements. So
yeah, I know. I kind of find it refreshing, but also like obviously sad. The other thing is like, isn't it surprising that there's not more pregnancies that come out of the Bachelor Nation? Like unintentional ones that we know of.
Definitely.
Well, there's always, I don't mean to be that person, but there's an option to get rid of babies. Like I guess that's my question in all of this. Like, what's the birth control situation? What was the conversation afterwards?
Yes. The birth control situation is also my question because why isn't she on it? She's an adult woman and
she lives in LA. It's not hard to get there.
Yeah. It does seem hard to have an unexpected pregnancy in 2018 if you don't want to. Like it's not, she's an independent woman. She can do what she wants. I don't know. Andrew, you might have a slightly different perspective. What was like your main takeaway on the video?
I think the main one is definitely just that the guy is really going through it. The second takeaway is that there's just a lot of like sepia tone being used.
Yes.
And like a lot of weird editing tricks where it goes from like a photo book to the actual scene that I found interesting. I think it's interesting comparing this video to like Kylie's pregnancy video.
Oh yeah.
Like when I guess she had already had the child when she released that video, but it's very similar in the way that it's like, oh, here I am getting an ultrasound and here's all this and here's how I feel. And then the husband or not husband, the father is just like in and out, seeming very mediocre about the whole thing.
I didn't even think about that, but you're so right. Like it is very like Kylie-ish. Like this is how she thinks of herself as being in the same vein, basically. Like the thing about it, like that's also sad, like not only because they are obviously like still wrapping their heads around this, but it's like we said, she's launching her YouTube channel with it. Like she's like, this is how she is extending her fame and like she's turning it into content, which I guess is like the most young millennial thing she could do, but also like just very cynical in some ways and upsetting.
Yeah, it feels extremely like even like post-millennial.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I was thinking, like, do they have health insurance? Like, this might be paying for the baby.
That's a great point. I don't know. She's a nanny, which is a job that doesn't often come with health insurance.
And he owns a rock climbing gym, right? And do small business owners have good health insurance? Probably not.
A great question. She did talk about him when she came in for my pod, like back in February. She had like just met him and she liked him. I think she said this on the mic. I don't think I'm betraying her confidence anyway, because it's a compliment. But she said that he like made her dinner and like he was older and like unlike many of the other guys she dated, like he was like a lot more mature and like he just seemed more stable. So hopefully that portends well for their future together as parents, co-parenting. Who knows though? We've really been through so much with Bekah. I can't think of this emotional roller coaster with anyone else from this Bachelor Nation. Right? Like
no, not at all. I know so much about her.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm invested. Like, I just want to say, I will be watching Being Bekah, which is the YouTube series.
We can do regular check-ins on it. What else did you guys learn deep diving this video and the people involved? Anything noteworthy?
No. I just met my new friend at Influences, who is a really interesting Instagram.
Yeah, and on influences.com, I browse some bikes. It's a Japanese bike website.
Anything you want to buy?
I'm not in the market for a bike right now, but they seem nice.
Fantastic. Good luck to Bekah. I hope she enjoys motherhood. I hope it goes better than I think it's going to. Moving on, we've got some breaking news. Thank you to producer Kaya for sending me this link. In the time since we've started doing this podcast, Jordan Kimble and Jenna Cooper, who engagement was announced on television this week, have ended their engagement and broken up.
Wow.
It's pretty sad. It is sad.
It is sad.
Yes, it is sad. So Jordan has become a fan favorite, certainly a ringer favorite, and he fell for Jenna in Paradise, even though she flirted with Benoit, which really should have been a red flag because there it was beyond flirtation. And they had a nice proposal on the Paradise finale, and then they were together talking about when their wedding was going to be on the reunion show, which aired last night, Tuesday night. That taped, I believe, on August 28th. Lauren Zima, who was last week's guest, she teased it and talked about it a little bit. And everyone was really fired up for Jordan and Jenna. Mallory Rubin, our coworker, is obsessed with them. So she's crestfallen. And what happened was Reality Steve got involved. Reality Steve somehow ascertained screenshots of a text conversation that Jenna was having with another man she was involved in. I'll just read a couple of quotes from the texts. This is while she's still allegedly dating Jordan. Not allegedly. I think she definitely was, actually. There's no reason to think she wasn't based on how upset he is. And so this is what she was texting another guy who's remained nameless up to this point. I wonder if that will change. He does have Jenna saved in his phone as Jenna Cooper red heart emoji. What level of intimacy do you need to have with someone to add an emoji to their name as their saved contact?
I don't know.
I would never.
Yeah, usually you do that when you first meet the person, and I don't think I would feel emoji level about anyone at first sight, but maybe I'm just a cynic.
I'm with you. I'm a real, let's keep it first last, and I don't even store a number until I know it's we're actually going to be in touch more than 3 times. So,
yeah, same.
Yeah, not everyone needs to be saved. But this guy, I think, is really into Jenna, and she's into him. So he texted her at one point, "Good morning, beautiful. How's my girl doing this morning?" And just so you know, it's about to get a little graphic. She said, "Amazing. My heart is melting thinking about hanging out with my girls again. I'm so excited, but I'll admit I'm even more excited to see you later tonight. Guess I'm the only one." And then I guess he didn't respond for a while. And she said, "I guess I'm the only one who's excited and you don't love me anymore." And then the crying emoji. He responds, No, of course I'm excited and still do. Sorry, had a work call and super busy. I'll make it up to you. Winky face. And then she responds to that. "You always say that. You're always so busy, but you do always make it up to me." Emoji with the tongue sticking out. And then she adds, "Tonight, I'm going to take all your stress away. I can't wait to put you in my mouth. It's going to get real kinky. I might bring a belt and whips and kick your ass. Maybe I'll dress up and dress you up too. You better watch out. I'm coming for you." Okay, so that's part of it. Whatever. She's hooking up with this guy. Cool. It's unclear on the timing on that one. So it's said that's while she's been engaged to Jordan, and presumably it's after she's gotten her phone back and she's back from Paradise. That's why she's excited to see her girls,
right,
etc. Follow-up text, and this is the real smoking gun that's really making the rounds. This is Jenna texting this guy saying, "Good morning, handsome. I wanted to say sorry. Don't be mad at me or do anything crazy. I know you're upset about this week's episodes, but I told you yesterday, and I keep telling you that this is all for my business. You know how much I need the money. Me and Jordan aren't together for real. I don't even like him, let alone love him. I'm better than him, and once I'm able to, I'll break it off for good and make up some story to make him look bad if it'll make you feel better. He means nothing to me and never has. None of the other guys I go out with mean anything. All for work and networking. You're the only one I need in my life, the only guy who interests me. I need you to love me and always be there for you. I'm going to call you. You still love me? Question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, emoji, emoji, emoji. So Jenna's very expressive with her texting, also fairly graphic, and also a horrible person, perhaps. I mean, this is really mean. Not only is she lying to Jordan, she totally insults him.
Yeah, "I'm better than him" is a really tough thing to say, even though it's not to his face. That's so mean.
I know.
She didn't need to say it either.
Yeah.
That was for her. It wasn't even for this guy, seemingly. So, yeah, it's a bummer.
It's really rough. She just is, very callous. It's also, very immature to me. I mean, I guess it's, kind of goes without saying. But this whole MO of like I'm like this cynical, callous businesswoman just like using The Bachelor is like, okay, I guess. I don't know. It's really like, it sucks. I feel really bad for Jordan. And then he just gets totally embarrassed. Like what were you guys thinking as you watched last night? Because this came out before, Reality Steve dropped this right before the Paradise finale, which credit to Reality Steve is learning how to play the game.
Yeah. Scoops guy over there.
Scoops McGee, Reality Steve. It actually came out like in the morning, but anyway.
I was smitten with them. Like I don't know, like where like they make a mood board and then she's like writing Tucker on the board and he's like, "What? How could you write Tucker?" Like all of that was adorable to me, and I really believe their relationship. I think
he believed it too.
Yeah,
fully. For sure. That's why I'm just really impressed. Like, I think Jenna's a great actress. Maybe
really
she should consider that as a new career instead of reality TV star. But I think that, like, it was kind of hard for me because I, like, as silly as it sounds, like, I do believe in the process of, like, the Bachelor universe love. And so, like, this kind of shook me. Like, oh, man, I think I do a pretty good job of, like, deciding which ones are real and which ones are fake. Like, the Camille Annalise thing felt very not real to me, but I was completely fooled by Jenna, and so was Jordan, and she was going to do something really messed up. And so I came away from it just being like, oh man, maybe I need to be more skeptical about this show.
This is what did it for you, Alyssa. This is what convinced you to be more skeptical.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm a romantic at heart.
Andrew, were you fully in on them too?
I was. I really liked them, and I liked the idea of like Jordan, this very wild person who doesn't get along with anyone, suddenly finding someone who he gets along with and actually like calms him down a little bit.
He did become lovable over the course of the season.
Yeah, like what was it when he like wrote on the beach when she went on the date with Benoit?
Yeah.
He like gave a whole speech. Like that was a good speech with real emotion in it. And I was like, oh, this Jordan guy actually might not be the worst person I've ever seen on this TV show. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough watching last night, especially the like, how do you feel about coming to our wedding on June 9th?
Oh, God.
The whole like scheduling a wedding when you knew that these texts were going to come out and that what happened was going to happen. It sucked.
Do you guys think ABC is mad about this or happy about it?
It's pretty good for them, I think.
I think it's good for them too, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I think Reality Steve probably thinks he like got one, but I think this just like helps the franchise in like a sad way. Like, it just adds more drama. It makes Jordan relevant for a longer period of time. We never would have known who Jenna was after. Like, we would have forgot. Well, I guess her and Jordan, like, that would have made them stick. But, like, just coming out of Ari's season, like, she was so irrelevant. And now we have two new bona fide stars that will be in this system for a long time.
Yeah, it reinvigorates the right reasons conversation.
Oh, that's a great point.
Big time.
Like, everyone's going to be like, is it a Jenna?
Are you
Jordan?
Jenna?
Yeah. It'll be referenced for sure.
Jordan gave some pretty sad quotes to People magazine. I just to read a couple of them. And he found out about it like the same time we did. He didn't know this was coming. And he said, I felt like a body drop. I got taken down, I'm weak in the knees, and I feel like I have rocks in my stomach. On Monday, I saw something someone posted on Twitter that somebody was going to be roasted the next night. Jenna called me and said she was very anxious about this Twitter post. I talked to her in the middle of the night last night. I said, don't hype yourself up. Don't worry. You have nothing to worry about. I tried to calm her. We've seen what that looks like when he tries to calm her, and usually it's effective. I went back to bed for a few hours, woke up, had my coffee, and she called me again. She said she was anxious and felt sick to her stomach. He added, she's in New York. I told her to keep calm. I thought she was just being nervous for no reason. Then I was driving back to Central Florida from Miami, and I started getting calls from castmates like Chris Randone. I started getting screenshots sent to me. I didn't know what to think. I sank in my seat. And then he said, I know my Jenna, and I read those texts, and in my heart, I know it's her. She was saying she didn't do it, but hinting towards the fact that there's a possibility that it happened. In all reality, I don't expect her to own it. That's really sad that he like could tell from her text style that it was her, not, which like is like something I think a lot of people are familiar with, like texting becomes such an important part of a relationship. When something's like off in the text banter, you notice, and then also you just like know your person's style. You're like, oh yeah, that's how they text, of course, which is just so sad. And then, you know, he goes on. He said, "This whole thing sticks, and it's true. I'll be hurt much more than the depths of romance. I'll be hurt as a person, as a friend. There's so many layers to a relationship, and right now I feel all of them peeling back. I was going to bring my parents to North Carolina. I really feel like I'm going to start dry heaving. I don't know how to handle this. It really kills me." It seems like he was processing this as he was doing the interview with People magazine. Just a incredible heartbreak. I can't believe it. And then he just posted to Instagram to announce the breakup. I deal with unreasonable circumstances reasonably and have come to terms with the decision to remove myself from the relationship. It breaks my heart to think, feel, and fall for this. It's dropped me. Fumbling emotions and being understanding is not easy. I'll be taking time to pursue my inner peace, and she'll always have me to talk to. If you reach out to me, allow time. Thank you to those that have. Yeah, and that's the wrap on their relationship. I really feel for him. It's quite sad.
It is. Good photo on this Instagram that he posted.
Well, Jordan, I'm about to say.
Forever a model.
Forever a model. He does look really good here. He looks more like unrealistic than ever. I will say, it's really sad. I really feel for Jordan, and it seemed like he was processing it as he talked to people. There's also something like a little performative about this. Like maybe that's just his personality. But going to Instagram with that caption is like, it's too much for me.
Long Instagram captions are a mood and a decision. And I think he should be given this allowance because he is going through so much heartbreak and yeah, he's clearly still processing it, but I'm almost like universally opposed to text that long on Instagram.
Do you ever think having to like go into the more section is acceptable?
No. Just like straight up no. Like, I mean, it's really helpful if you like, you know, are like explaining something. I don't know, like one really long Instagram caption I'm thinking of. It's just like always like a Nicki Minaj thing where she's like explaining something. And it's like, I never actually need to read past them more. They're like, this is why you have publicists.
Yeah, I know. Although I'm afraid that Jordan doesn't because he gave so much to people. Like maybe save some of those quotes for your story or something, like your Instagram story. I don't know.
He's probably a great interview right now.
Oh, definitely. Although he's asking for time. On this topic of like Instagram etiquette, how do you guys feel about the all text post to your Instagram story? Like they give you the type option. Would that have been a better forum for this?
Yes. I actually think so. No, I mean, you make a great point, Juliet. I'm like being really excited now because, like I think breaking it up into story, like having like block by block, not only allows you to like think about it more and sort of be more careful with your words, but it doesn't overwhelm the eye and you're not like, oh my God, this person is having a mental breakdown or something.
Yeah, I know. It's like almost more appropriate. They figure like Instagram has like found a way to facilitate those kinds of conversations essentially. Yeah. It's really tough. Would you guys be interested in seeing Jordan as the Bachelor now?
100%.
Really?
Give it to me.
Seriously?
Yes.
I mean, I would take him over Colton for sure. And I would love for them to switch it last minute and break Colton's heart because I just hate Colton so much. But I don't know if, I mean, that would be even more of a joke, to be honest.
I agree with you. I just think
it would be, yeah. But I would like it.
Yeah. I think it would just be too absurd for me. But I think there's like a compelling case for it now because people are like really invested in Jordan. I think there needs to be like a spin-off show. Like, not that we are like really hurting for more Bachelor content. And by the way, like Paradise is just such a stretch run, you know? There's so much to get through every week for 4 weeks. But that said, I do think there needs to be like a spin-off show for people who come close to finding love in Paradise or Winter Games, but can't make it happen. Like some kind of like travel log or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but like Jordan's not right to go just straight to Winter Games, and he's also not right to be the Bachelor. But like we're not done with him. Bachelor Nation is still invested. So like where do we send him?
Give him a 6.5-minute YouTube video. That's perfect.
Being Jordan.
Yeah.
I kind of think like it's funny that every time you want to see more of a character, your solution is very Facebook-esque in that you just want more Bachelor content. Yeah. Juliet. Like it's just like pretty hilarious, and I kind of agree with you. Like I would take another show as well, even though like I definitely don't have enough time to watch all of these Bachelor shows.
It's a big ask. Like the week that there was 5 hours, that was a huge time suck. Very difficult to get through all of that viewing, let me tell you. But like, you know, it's a system where I'm hooked in. Like let's keep it going with Jordan, but like I don't know. I just think there needs to be more like offshoots for someone like him. And I actually do think digital is the answer. That's probably where he should go because he's a good like digital era star. He's not like a real star, but we have plenty of avenues in our day and age for fake stars. So let's just send him there.
I'm worried that if there was something digital, it would focus too much on his modeling career, which I do not care about at all.
Yeah,
I really want to
true.
see him dating.
Me
That's
neither.
all.
I agree with that. I also think that like an explainer of Wilhelmina models is necessary. We've covered it before, but basically it's like Wilhelmina has different offices. Like there's one in LA, there's one in Miami, and it's sort of like it's like there's like ABC has regional affiliates. It's kind of like a similar thing. So it'd be like, I'm a Wilhelmina model isn't necessarily like such a huge accomplishment. It's not an accomplishment, but like it's not like being Heidi Klum or whatever. Just to be clear. We have to wrap up in a few minutes, but I just want to ask you guys, Joe and Kendall, how long do you give them? How many more? Joe, who by the way is going on Dancing with the Stars. How many more weeks until they break up?
6.
Ooh, 6. Okay.
That's a good guess.
That means that they would break up before the end of Dancing with the Stars.
I don't foresee him making it too far in that. So I think maybe like the week that he gets booted might be the week that he and Kendall break up.
He has the highest upside of like any Bachelor contestant I've ever seen. His appearance has improved so much. It's wild. And I only really mention that because we know like very little of his personality. We finally started to see it like in the last couple of installments. But for a while he just was kind of like silent. And I was like, why does everyone like this guy? But now he's like starting to come out of his shell. I guess he's just shy.
Yeah.
And handsome.
I want to say that I really appreciated his response to Kendall's like weird dismissal of him.
Yes.
Like, I thought he like handled that really well, and he handled it really eloquently. He kept being like, you need to stop saying this is we, this has been you all along. Like, are you kidding me? You don't think you know how I feel about you. And I loved that. Like, he was really assertive. And I also liked that Kendall had to like chase him to Chicago, and like that whole footage was hilarious because it was like, now we're in Chicago.
I know.
They were just on a couch.
I know. And he was like, so what brings you to Chicago? So
Like,
formal.
repeated too much. It was hilarious. And she's like, well, back in Mexico.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Astrid and Kevin, how long do you give them?
I really am rooting for them.
Me too.
I like them a lot.
I do too.
They had a year plan.
I like her. I particularly like her, and he's grown on me quite a bit. But she's dope. Like she's one of the better women to be on The Bachelor. Like full stop.
I love that he brought up that he had to go to therapy to really feel how he felt.
Yes.
Like, it's so necessary.
Very
he keeps
important.
talking about it, and I'm just like, yes, therapy. It's good for men who are confused.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. The Bachelor is like a very therapy, like welcoming community, and I love it. I also support therapy, so that's great. Last couple is Crystal and Chris. How long do you give them?
Either like 2 weeks or 50 years.
A lifetime. Yeah.
I kind of feel like it could be a lifetime. I do. I think that maybe these two wackos are perfect for each other.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The dog scene was like freaking adorable, and he's kind of becomes like a puppy dog like when he's around her, and I don't know, like it just works.
Yeah,
weird.
She raises his Q score like exponentially because he sucked. He sucked before they started dating, and now I'm like, yeah, okay, that guy just needed to find the right woman. I don't know though. It was ultimately a really good paradise. I'm very pleased.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
How are you guys going to fill your time on Mondays and Tuesdays going forward?
I just got into Love Island.
Oh yeah, welcome Andrew.
It's so good.
You should write about that for theringer.com. It's pretty. I'm wondering when that kind of programming will really come to the States, where like the viewers have such an immediate impact. Like I keep describing it as Big Brother meets Are You the One? But it's like even more than that. And they're like legitimate celebrities in the UK. That's why I started watching it personally, is because when I go to the Daily Mail, I always go to the UK homepage to see what's up over there. And like they just were pushing it so hard. Yeah, it's a really good time. I'm only like 5 episodes in, but it's hilarious. I just want to say, if you have an opening for reality TV, I still really recommend Jersey Shore. I live for Jersey Days because I love this show so much. Alyssa and Andrew, thank you so much, particularly for all of your hard research looking into the Bekah situation and for watching along all season long. Anytime.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Duty. Thanks so much.
I will be going bi-weekly until January when The Bachelor comes back. As Chris Harrison said, that's January 7th. We'll be having showrunners on, people from Bachelor Nation, from the wider reality TV universe, and hopefully some good conversations. Thanks for listening, and feel better, Jordan.